Awesome. Welcome today. I am Melanie and this is Valerie, and she is going to introduce our topic, including telling us what SEO and GEO stand for.
Of course you would tell me that. Introduce me. I'm Valerie, and here we go. All right. Gosh dang it.
Well, you got to remember that we often talk in shorthand and we know what we are talking about, but that doesn't always mean that who's listening knows what we're talking about.
All right. Well, I will do the down and dirty, ugly. SEO is search engine optimization, and GEO is a play on that with just add the word geography or geo positioning. That will make it the easiest, but it's geo positioning optimization.
Yes. And just like we did the Q explosion and expansion of what the different Qs could be, the same thing applies for engine optimization. There's social media optimization, there's chat optimization. This all expands, but we want to make sure that we're all talking about the same thing. So that's why I said make sure you explain it first.
And the real technical term is geospatial optimization, right? So geospatial engine optimization, if you want the actual, but in my world, it's like when you basically back in the day. So the reason I'm bringing this up today is because, of course, I see a post and it talks about making an industry, a specific industry, stronger because, instead of SEO, it's now moving into geospatial engine optimization, GEO, right? So, and we all know, you can stick on your app, your driving app, and you can look at how many restaurants are in an area.
Near me.
And what?
Near me.
Near me.
Near me. Yep.
And because you have put your position and where you're at, it will bring up everything around you. Like you can even put a waypoint, right? I need to stop at a gas station. How many gas stations are here? And so you're able to be found. Okay. And so there's this sort of concept of why SEO is shifting to GEO and what it's going to mean for your businesses. However, like everything, there's a dark side, dark arts of marketing, as you always say, right? I'm laughing. There's a dark side.
Oh, I know, and I play it
up too. And one of the things that I have found is that a lot of times we think this really great new shiny object is just a regurgitation of an older object that got banned. And I'll give the sort of example in Valerie world. Years ago, when you had cookies, and I know we're getting rid of cookies and things like that. And if you don't know what cookies are,
they actually canceled that.
Oh, did they cancel it? Okay,
they did cancel that, or at least have delayed without an intent of revisiting.
Okay. Well, I stand dutifully corrected. At the end of the day, things are shifting so fast. But years ago, in my world, we used to call on people and they'd say, "How did you find me?" And it was because you clicked on something or did something. And Amazon was fabulous at this in their earlier roots. Amazon was able to capture and probably clone you today because they've got all this data that they were able to know exactly what your shopping preferences would be and all of those things before there were a lot of regulations that would make it so that you had to opt in, not opt in. And we used to do dark arts of marketing. We used to say, okay, there's an event in Las Vegas, and that event is somebody that everybody going to that event is somebody we'd like to advertise to, right? And so we would time marketing advertising to those people that were going to that event because we had collected cookies and various other things. And we knew where they were going. And so we dutifully, when they would be at the event, we would start popping up advertising. And we call that hijacking. right? Hijacking an event. And we do it kind
Mhm.
of media when we go down and drop a DM and hijack that person's comments and say, "Hey, look at me," instead of them, right?
Yep.
And so this is nothing new. It's just got an AI sort of stint on it. And it has a little open door for maybe a little while until regulators start to come in and say, you're going to have to start to opt in on all this wonderful stuff. And you can't track everybody again. And, anyways, but I'd love to hear your stint on this whole SEO versus GEO.
So
Mel?
as you were telling the history, the Valerie history and perspective, I was like, oh, and this applies, and this applies, and this applies.
And it
So
is creepy.
it is. What many business owners, especially multi-founder businesses will or multi-founders of businesses will remember is the Google pilot or the Google Penguin program. It's always had like some different animal name as they release new editions, but Penguin is the one that got the most publicity. And with the Penguin program, what would happen is when a user would go to your site, that company would receive a notification immediately and call you.
Mm-hmm.
And so you would be on their
Creepy.
site and you would get a call and you're like, WTF just happened? How did you know? And how did you get my phone number? And companies would pay big bucks for this. Certain industries did really, really well with conversion from this. Other companies, it was just a very expensive ad program. And then there's also from a free version, it's called localization. So when you go to Google and you have a company and you fill out your local company profile, you put in your address, what you're doing is you're telling Google that, hey, my business is located on 123 Canary Street in Whoville. So give me a higher ranking in Whoville than you will anywhere else. Now, I know, at least with Valerie and I, we work with clients all over the country, sometimes all over the world, and localization isn't relevant for us. It's more relevant for us to be known for our expertise than it is to be known for localization. However, that's how at least the Google algorithm prioritizes what is revealed in search. So it's a horse of another name, a horse of another color, similar in concept. When you tie events into this, this is why when you go to an event, they have sponsorship levels. And sponsorship levels, magically, when you hit a certain tier, include contact information of who's going.
Yeah.
And it's accurate email addresses, or so they claim. It's accurate LinkedIn profiles, or so they claim. And then this allows you to target the attendees, but you have to be a sponsor. You don't actually have to show up, but you pretty much want to, or it looks really weird. But yeah, it's a different spin. It's a modification of a technology that was before, and it's has the potential to be more enhanced, more accurate because of technologies like AI.
Yeah, and it sounds harmless,
It
sounds
does.
smart even. But here's
Mhm.
the problem, everybody. There's always a little thing, right? I mean, we all want the mothership. We want to be able to target really, really well. Who wouldn't want to know when somebody's buying, why they're buying, and how they're buying, right? I mean, that would be great.
Yeah.
Location-based targeting plus AI-driven prediction
Oh, yeah.
equals serious PII risk, personally identifiable information, cyber and
Mhm.
compliance risk, right? Especially in heavily regulated industries, healthcare. What else? Oh, I don't know. Our Department of Defense, aerospace, and manufacturers touch on all of those types of things. So when we sit there and say, hey, that's in manufacturing, that would be so fabulous. But manufacturing usually ships out to all over the place. So location based, great that you get to know it. But there's also a lot of behavioral data protection things out there. And people don't like, for instance, they don't like their children targeted even on Facebook, right? And so it becomes something that people go, and let's bring it right back. It's creepy.
It is. It really, really is. And at the same time, this goes back to the conundrum that as owners, we need this information so we can increase our sales, but when it's done to us, we take offense.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, well, I don't do that, or I don't want people doing that to me, but you're doing it to your prospects.
Oh, and that builds trust.
Oh yeah,
right?
totally.
Isn't it no like and trust? That builds trust. Where did I find you?
About kilts yet?
Nope.
So early in my, you actually just defined what kilt is, but early when I had my business, I was taught know, like, and trust through the kilt analogy.
Oh, okay. Yes, kilt. So, I was like,
and then that led me down the rabbit hole of, oh, I'm drawing a blank. I can see it. The Scottishman's kilt. No, this is if I've not sent, I'll send you the video again. It's basically my St. Patrick's Day song that I send to everybody, and it's a Scottish.
Yes, you'll have to play it on the radio. That will be great. That will be the great song. Okay, go ahead.
Totally us, but not at all Mindsetaholics, but everybody will get a really good laugh out of it. So yes.
Yeah, they will.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, that's what, when you say know, like, and trust, my mind goes to kilt and then that song. And yes, ultimately it's a fun way to say we need to build trust with our audience, because trust is how you get people to say yes faster.
And we could go through I love the mathematical equation of funnel level of effort. I use that all the time. But if you can cut through, one person put it aptly this way: you can learn to smile and dial 500 times, or you can learn to be trusted and cut through the noise. Know, like, trust means eventually people are evangelizing you, there's credibility, and all of a sudden you aren't smiling and dialing 500 times. You're getting through that traction. That's just an example of it. But people buy from people they like and they trust. And you can't say, oh, by the way, trust me, because that doesn't work.
So what I've learned over the years is anytime you have to say, trust me, it's a guarantee I should not trust you. Anytime you have to create an excuse for someone else's behavior, that is a guarantee they should not be trusted and your instincts are correct. You should stay away from that person.
Run, don't walk.
If you hear somebody saying, oh, but they're a good person, that is the same thing as saying, trust me. No, they're not a good person. They're inappropriate, or they've done something wrong, and you are creating excuses for them.
Yeah, and that can become an entire new episode for this
one. It totally can. But going back to bringing it back to sales, if we're constantly having to create excuses, if we're constantly having to force feed somebody to trust us, then you're going to be making 500, 800, 2,000 calls and hearing way more no's than you will yeses.
And that's a whole nother episode on self-loathing behavior that we can get into later too. I don't want to do that. But for now, let's wrap it up. Mel, what do you want to say to our guests today?
Remember that no matter what you put out there, whether it be videos, texts, images, it all needs to be optimized in order to be found. It's that simple. It's a blend of interpreting for technology so it can sort you correctly, and also presenting it in a way that humans, like you and I, can psychologically connect with it. And while the computer aspect may be unnatural, if you don't do it, you won't be found.
Absolutely. If you don't do it, you won't be found. So this is another great episode. Mindsetaholics podcast.com. Drop a like, a love, a whatever comments into our podcast. And I think we have a little something to offer during this month, but we'll talk about that on the next episode. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.